Hello, welcome to the stream, or if you're watching this on YouTube, what is up? It is your boy Willie. We are going to be jumping into this company tier list for New World. Should be a lot of fun. If you guys are catching this on YouTube, make sure that you guys hit that like, that sub, the goodies. And look, man, if you are here on Twitch catching it right now, look, you guys already know the drill. Hit that follow, hit that sub. Full-time streamer. Trying to keep it going. We got sub-only mode here as well to, to alleviate a little bit of that, that pressure. That pressure coming in here from the stream, because it gets a little spicy, okay? It gets a little spicy. Now, guys, what are we doing here? What are we doing? If you guys happen to be new here coming in, we are going to be jumping into the company tier list coming in for June. June company tier list coming down. I'm going to go ahead and get that music started up again. Let's go. And we're going to be getting into it, but guys, wait a minute. I'm just juking you. I'm juking you because, guys, look, to be quite honest, we got to do something first, okay? We got to do something first before any good company tier list. First off, we got to start with the graveyard. Guys, flutes out in the chat. We got to start with the graveyard here, how it goes. All right, who do we got? We got alternates in the graveyard. Aphotic, to my knowledge, is in the graveyard. R.I.P. Boogaflu. R.I.P. Booga Uwu. How it goes, bored but never forget. Cannabis in the graveyard. Careless in the graveyard. Cloaked in the graveyard. Coconut Wireless, pretty sure in the graveyard. Context down there. Guys, a new addition. A new addition to the graveyard, in case you guys didn't know. Cosmic Scales in the graveyard. I heard they're taking a break. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cosmic in the graveyard declared. Down there as well. Dodgers coming in. Doesn't matter. In the graveyard. Don't panic. I heard they're down there panicking a little bit. In the graveyard. Enough's enough. Holding it down. F-baller. Down there as well. Fed. How it is. DSS. In the graveyard. My God. Inglorious Few. It's how it goes. Leaked. Down there as well. Mamooks in there. Maximum effort. Smell you later. Min-X, they're in my walls, but never forget. Minotauri in the graveyard. Mod TCX in there as well. Moppers, Mop not on top. In the graveyard. No hard feelings down there as well. Notice, don't forget. Little Lilith action. Orphan in the graveyard. Ouroboros. Ouroboros now in the graveyard, guys. Pad Patrol in the graveyard. Damn. Price Check in the graveyard. Riposte in the graveyard. Soju Gang down there. Strawberry as well. Stuck in Cactus there too. Swipe Night, how it goes. In the graveyard. Technical Scales now in the graveyard. Tribulation up in the guts of the graveyard. Trin Hard down there holding it down. Uppies there as well. West Bench in the graveyard. Hoot here there as well. X Payout holding it down. Stimmies now in the graveyard. Oregano in the graveyard. Guys, the song ran out before I was even done. Guys, the song ran out before I was even done here. Jesus Christ. Okay, Yo What We On in the graveyard. Jesus, guys. I think that's who we have at the moment. I believe that's who we have at the moment here. Yo, Avia, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. Yeah, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. Just remove some of these next time. Yeah. Only 11K players currently. Look, again, thank you for the resub, but look, man, look, guys, you guys know, before we get into the rest of this tier list, whether New World is bussin' or dead, it does not matter. We still out here having fun, having a good time. That's what it's about. We're gonna be jumping in this tier list, though, so we're gonna make it happen. Now, guys, this is gonna be Willie's Willie's tier list here, so look, you guys can have your opinion. That's totally fine. But we're going to be jumping into this, guys. And let's go ahead and jump into a controversial one. We'll go ahead and grab Egoed. Now, guys, Egoed. Egoed is a Morata company over here on Almarama, baby mama drama. Egoed is holding it down over here. Now, these guys are pretty solid. But to be honest with you, they did have a rough war in EU, but to be honest, look, when it comes to NA, it doesn't really matter too much. Ego, these guys are known to be the server killers. Since they made their way on Morama, they've been holding it down. Nobody can really beat them, to be honest with you. At least if you're talking Morama, these guys are really good. And even though they had a rough look over here in EU, Egoed is definitely an S tier company. Nobody wants to push Egoed. Nobody wants to fight Egoed. It is what it is. Egoed is an S tier company. These guys are popping off. These guys are very good. So you love to see it, dude. You love to see it. Egoed, I mean, look, what more can I say about the squad? They had a rough look in EU, but I do think that these guys are really good. Now, speaking of Marama, I want to go ahead and talk about the Heaters. Guys, Heaters has been having a pretty insane couple of weeks here. These guys have been looking really good. Heaters representing the Syndicate faction over here on Marama, baby mama drama. These guys actually look really nice. And now, again, unfortunately, we put Cosmic Scales in the graveyard here. But the thing is, a lot of companies that came in, or a lot of the players from some of the best players in Heaters, it did end up making their way over here, or Cosmic, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm a little toasted. From Cosmic, ended up making their way over here to Heaters. And pretty good. These guys are insane. They've been having a lot of successful wars. And I think Heaters is very good at holding down the A+ squad. Now, guys, look, Heaters is, I mean, arguably could be going to S. I mean, these guys have been looking good, but I need to see them. How do they look against Ego? That's the big question. Heaters, I think, respectfully holds down that A+ squad, or A+ spot, and you'd love to see it, guys. So Heaters looking very good. I think that is very fair to place them over here. No arguments in my opinion. I think they hold it down. These guys are very good. So let's go ahead and get to 15K. Now, since we're talking Marama, 15K has been looking a little rough, if you ask me. Look, respectfully, I think 15K has had better days, you know? I think 15K has had better months as well. If you look back at it, 15K has lost a decent chunk of territories, but had some interesting wars. They've looked good against multiple companies, but they've also had some shaky looks. They've lost some territories. I think they're a very good company. They also are, again, shout out to the homies, the Covenant over here on Marama. In case you guys didn't know, they're very good players, but it is what it is. I think 15K is an A company. I think 15K holds down that A slot pretty well. I think these guys are pretty good, but unfortunately, I think if you were to compare them against Heaters and others, I just don't think that they will hold down. One second, I'm getting another call here. One second, guys. Okay, we're good. All right, we're good. Sorry, guys. All right. But yeah, I think 15K holding down that A spot is pretty solid. We're going to go ahead and jump on it. Now, guys, what do we got next here? Let's go ahead and do Popup Shop. Now, Popup Shop fought Fought Yacht Club. I think Yacht Club looking pretty damn good out there. Now, the thing about Popup Shop is we haven't seen a lot of them. In fact, I just got VOD of them today. I've only seen one war. Now, however, these guys have been looking pretty good. It was one war and they did beat Yacht Club, but I do need to see more. Now, if you guys are wondering who Popup Shop is, it's a company over here on the Valhalla. They look pretty decent. They're led by Apples and a couple other players, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, they look solid off the rip, but I need to see a little bit more coming out to kind of gauge their strength here. So Popup Shop doing a good job. And now also, let's go ahead and talk about JDB Kitchen. Now, JDB Kitchen is a West Coast company, and the thing about JDB is I haven't caught much of them, so it's unfortunate. Again, it's a bit of my fault. JDB does own the West Coast server for the most part, right? JDB does a good job, but the problem is I just don't see a lot of wars coming out from JDB, so I do got to put them in needs to see more. It's really hard to kind of gauge when the West Coast, respectfully, is kind of having a bit of a rough time, right? West Coast is kind of like there's not much going on. Not much going on West Coast at the moment, so I think JDB in that needs to see more. It's totally fine. I think that's fair, to be quite honest with you. Now, going into this, guys, let's check out Top G. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Let's get a little spicy with it. We got Top G coming in here from Lilith. Now, what is Top G really, have they accomplished a ton? Top G, a Marauder company over here on Lilith. They were originally on Olympus, but things switched up for Top G. They kind of made their way back here. I believe they did beat Diagonal, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm pretty sure they beat Diagonal. They're not looking bad. Top G has a good roster for the most part, but again, this is a fresh, or did they beat Diagonal or did they not? Wait. Did they beat Diagonal or not? Again, I'm trying to have a time. It was Bar Pusher War, really? Oh, it was a Bar Pusher War. It was a double deck? Oh, I got you. It was a double deck? Okay, I got you. It's hard to say. Top G still looks interesting. I still think Top G is a pretty good company, but it's almost an argument on where they look like on Lilith, because Lilith is kind of interesting, right? Lilith is kind of interesting when it comes to the companies. And also, I do want to say before I slot the first Lilith company, guys, you guys have to look at Lilith as a whole when it comes to them in respect to the rest of the servers, right? It's kind of weird. I know they're fresh starts still, so look, Lilith is almost in their own category. There's not a ton of companies from Lilith, so I just lump them in here. But I do think that these guys are doing decent things. And not to be quite honest, I could put them in the needs to see more, because I just haven't seen a lot of Top G. We've only seen a little bit. Yo, what's up, Alexis? Dude, of course it's your boy. I haven't seen a lot of Top G, but I do think that these guys are pretty good. Salty, hey, thank you so much for the resub. Love you, dude. I think Top G right now, in respect to the competition of Lilith, I think they could be a back of B or top of C, in my personal opinion. I could put them in need to see more, but out of respect for Top G, since I've caught them, I've kind of caught the company for so long, even back in the Olympus days, I'll put them in the top of C for now. They could be in the back of B. We'll see what it looks like. Again, I could put them in the needs to see more, but I'll put them at top of C at the moment. So yeah, I think in respect, that's where I'll put them. Now, guys, Diagonal. So speaking of Lilith, since we're on the conversation here, let's talk a little bit about Diagonal. Diagonal is the Premies Uppies company. These guys are having a pretty fucking good look. These guys have been doing a pretty good job over there. Now, again, this is respect of Lilith, so we kind of got to factor in the fact that this is a bit of a fresh start server, right? Diagonal Syndicate company over there on Lilith. These guys are made up of Premies and Uppies. I do think that they have been doing a good job. They did just beat Ordo Renatus the other day, and I think that's pretty impressive. I think that's pretty impressive here. I think they did a fantastic job. I think Diagonal is definitely in that B slot. Again, I think when you're looking at Lilith, I think you're kind of checking out Diagonal, you're checking out Horizontal, and the big question is who's going to contend against Vertical. And I think let's go ahead and jump into the Vertical conversation. Vertical is, since we're on Lilith a little bit, I think Vertical is the Covenant company over here that is kind of owning Lilith at the moment. It's kind of spicy. it kind of sucks a little bit because these guys seem to be in the lead. These guys seem to just be untouchable. And it kind of sucks because these guys are insane, but at the same time, it's what they do. They've held down multiple decks. This is what these guys do. These guys are fucking Giga Chads in that way. It's just what Vertical does. Now, I do think Vertical, again, still since they have the title of like the unbeaten fresh start company, in respects, it's definitely good to put them at the S tier. I think that's fine, right? They own fresh start at the moment. I would love to see a company contend them for that. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be having Diagonal versus Vertical tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, I'll obviously be here for that. But that's something to think about, right? At the moment, it is kind of, Vertical still in the lead. And it's how it goes. These guys are absolutely insane. So it is what it is. Let's get off the topic of Lilith for just a second. We'll go ahead and pop into Sinaloa. Now, guys, is Sinaloa still around? To be honest, I could put them in the needs to see more. Is Sinaloa dead or not? Are they still getting active? Quick questions. Swapping to Valhalla for a second. Sinaloa still plays. Gotcha. Yeah. And look, to be honest with you, I do have a list, and I did put them at the D tier. Respects. They are Nibbles. They are a syndicate company. They are a syndicate company over here in Valhalla. They've been having a rough time though. They haven't really found their stride. They've just been kind of a little shaky, and it's not necessarily what you want to see coming out from the squad. Sinaloa does have that backbone. They have that foundation, but the struggle is real. Sorry guys, look, we drinking tonight, bro. I think Sinaloa is still holding it down on the D tier though. It's how it goes. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, oh wait, Prim is dead. Hold up, wait, yeah, my bad. Prim needed to go there. Outcast also, this is a West Coast company. I'm gonna put them in needs to see more as well. Am I from the South? No, I'm from Indiana. I'm an Indiana boy. What can I say, dude? What can I say? It is what it is. Let's go ahead and actually talk about Supple. Guys, Supple. Look, Supple, suck Fupple. These guys have been looking pretty good. They held out very convincingly, but against a couple companies. But look, I will say, Dropouts coming in, and Dropouts coming in and beating. Wait, hold up, Zombie. Wait a minute, hold up, Zombie. Oh, really? Oregano owns Evanscale on Val, not dead? Really? Oh, I heard everybody. Hold up, guys. Quick question, Zombie. I'm talking to you right now. Is Oregano still alive? I had a lot of people telling me Oregano died. I had a lot of people telling me Oregano died. Is that true? No, rebranded name? Okay. They alive? Okay. All right, before we get into Supple, I want to talk. Okay, look, that's fine. We'll get Oregano first. Okay, I want to answer that. They had a rough week. I think respectfully, we'll talk about Oregano first because they really had a hard time. Okay, a lot of people were telling me that Oregano, they kind of died. No, you're fine, Zombie. A lot of people came in the stream and said that Oregano was done. We'll talk about Oregano at the moment. I do think they had a very rough couple weeks though. Look, they looked good for a second, merging with Yo What We On, but they did have a bit of a rough time. I think Oregano is probably going to be roughly in this kind of C tier, right? I think Oregano could be holding it down at C. We'll see. I mean, if they disband, they could be in obviously the graveyard, but I do think it is what it is. They could, I think C is kind of fine for the company if they're still holding it down over there. They have a good roster, but they have been having a couple shaky weeks, and that's not what you want to see, but it's how it is at the end of the day. I think Oregano's not bad. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Supple. Okay, got you, Zombie. Thanks for letting me know, man. And also, Zombie's a very reliable source in case you guys don't know. Let's talk about Supple. Let's talk about Supple here. Supple, Covenant company over here on COS. These guys have been doing big things, but they did have a bit of a rough week. They did lose to Dropouts on an attack. They lost their territory, and then they weren't able to beat Dropouts on an attack as well. So they fought Dropouts back. They weren't able to take it, but they did end up. So here's the trajectory of Supple. Supple looked great. And then Dropouts beat Supple, and then Dropouts held a defense against Supple. But then this is a big thing, guys. This is a big thing, guys. Supple ends up holding it down convincingly against Dropouts. And I know there's going to be some people that think Supple doesn't belong in the S tier anymore, but I still think Supple is still S tier, guys. Supple is still an S tier company. Look, they had a rough look against Dropouts, the last couple of weeks, but I still think Supple absolutely holds it down. These guys are insane. Look, their roster that these guys pull is still out of this fucking world. Like, look, it's just how it goes. Supple is nuts out there. So, yeah, Supple's solid. Let's go ahead and catch Yacht Club. We'll go ahead and talk about Yacht Club coming in here. Yacht Club is a Covenant company over here on Valhalla. Yeah, Rexy, kind of. Yacht Club is a Covenant company over here on Valhalla. Now, guys, Yacht Club, they did lose, unfortunately, to Popup Shop. Now, Popup Shop is kind of like almost a pseudo super roster coming out here. Yacht Club, Covenant company, these guys have looked pretty good. Look, these guys have had very good looks. And I think when you're talking about Valhalla, these guys are insane. I do think Yacht Club in general is a top of B tier company. Now, Valhalla in general, though, guys, look, respect. If you guys haven't been paying attention to Valhalla, you have to, because Valhalla is starting to get very, very competitive. We have a lot of companies over here starting to get active, and they are really holding it down. So I think Yacht Club being a B right now is a very good look. I think it's respectable. These guys are holding it down. Very good. I think Yacht Club has a good roster led by Zaxxy's, Rage Life, and some of the other homies. So shout out to the boys. But yeah, look, they're holding it down over there. Either way, they had a pretty good war, even though Popup Shop kind of did beat them in the last 10 seconds. They have been looking good. So let's go ahead, dude. Let's go ahead and get into this other one here. Now let's talk about Handsome Blokes, guys. Handsome Blokes Syndicate company over here on Castle of Steel. Guys, where do you think Handsome Blokes lies? Now, I have them slotted somewhere, even though a lot of people wouldn't agree with me. I have them slotted somewhere, and the reason why I say people wouldn't agree with me is because respectfully, they had a bit of a rough couple weeks. They've been battling it out against Adeptus Supple, but they've caught a couple wins on attack and respectfully defense, but they did end up losing against Adeptus, and they have been kind of looking a little shaky, and that's just how it goes. Look, the Handsome Blokes are Giga Chats, but they have been looking a little shaky lately. So personally, I did have Handsome Blokes slotted at kind of near the top of A tier. Now look, I could be wrong for that. You could say I'm wrong for that, things like that. I kind of have them at the A tier. They are fighting on Castle of Steel, so it's something that I have to think about, right? I have to think about this. They are fighting on COS. They're fighting some of the best competition out there, so I do think around the top of A is respectfully a good spot to put the Blokes. And we'll see if they fight back. And guys, with that being said, we do have Adeptus Supple. Look, we do have Adeptus Supple. B tier all day. Look, Castle, maybe so. Look, to be honest, I could see it. I can see the conversation, Castle. I swear to God, I can see the conversation. It could be personal bias. I don't know. I think it's the COS bias, to be honest with you, man. I think it's the COS. I just feel like companies fighting on COS have it a little more. But either way, we got Adeptus Supple coming in here. Speaking of COS, we have another Covenant company coming in here from Castle of Steel. Now, guys, I think Adeptus Supple has been looking pretty good. They did end up beating the Handsome Blokes, so it kind of raises questions. It kind of raises questions on where they need to be. Look, crazy take here. And look, it may be a crazy take. Again, it might be my most controversial take. Again, I could be wrong. You guys might disagree with me, but I think Adeptus Supple is an A+ company. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It is what it is. It's very possible. Again, I could be wrong. I could be messing up the strength of Blokes and Adeptus here. Again, I'm not opposed to that idea. I'm not opposed to that idea because the thing is, it's hard to kind of gauge Blokes and Supple or Adeptus at the moment. I put COS at a high tier, but it's almost like, where does Marama lie? Is Marama a little bit, people are saying I'm high? Look, Rug, I don't know. Yeah, look, Adeptus high A? Well, look, well, that's what I'm saying. Blokes and Adeptus same. Well, but Adeptus did just beat Blokes, and I think Adeptus is on a higher trajectory than Blokes. So Adeptus could be above Blokes, but is that, are they A plus? So could they be top of A above Blokes? I mean, I don't know. Blokes top of B. I don't know. I don't think I can respectfully put Blokes at top of B, to be honest with you. I think, I don't know, man. I'm going to put this for now. It's not a sub, it's Adeptus. They're their own thing. I'll do this for now. Look, we'll revisit it after we're done, but I'll do this for now. I think Adeptus right here is okay. We'll see what it looks like. I promise we'll revisit it by the end. I swear. Let's go ahead and get Horizon Soul. Let's talk about Horizon Soul here. Horizon Soul is pretty much the B team Horizon coming in here on Marama, Baby Mama Drama. I haven't caught a lot of Horizon Soul, but I do think I do think Horizon Soul has been having some decent looks. They held out Cult of Cross pretty convincingly not too long ago, and they did look, they're doing their thing. When it comes to strength, it's kind of interesting. I think I can put them very close respectfully in the back of C. Yo, Jadis, thank you for the follow. I think I put them at the back of C tier at the moment. I mean, I think Horizon Soul's not bad, but I just don't know, when it comes to what kind of competition these guys really can withstand here. It's like, what can they withstand? It is what it is. So let's go ahead and catch Needs Improvement, because Needs Improvement is a syndicate company over here on Morata or on Marama. Sorry, it's a syndicate company over here on Marama, Baby Mama Drama. And look, these guys have been looking a little shaky. Not gonna lie. Needs Improvement have kind of been they've had better weeks here. They've had better months. I do think Needs Improvement is probably a D tier company. Again, nothing but respect for the boys, but I do, excuse me, I'm sorry. Nothing but respect, but I do think Needs Improvement definitely is a D company. I don't know. I think they're probably better than Sinaloa at the moment, but I do think that they're holding it down on the D side. They've had better times. They've had better times here, and Needs Improvement, unfortunately, just not able to keep it going, especially in this last couple months here. Especially how it goes. So I do think Needs Improvement on that D side. Now let's talk about Horizon, since we're still talking about Marama. Marama Horizon, again, the Morata company coming in from Orifena. These guys have actually had some really good looks against some top companies, 15K, heaters, things like that. And I do think that Horizon is low-key kind of slept on. I think Horizon is low-key kind of slept on out here. That's a personal opinion. I kind of agree with that. I think that Horizon is a very good company, and they actually get pretty active. These guys look really good. Now, can they beat 15K or heaters? I'm not 100% sure. I need to see that. Yo, Sussy, thank you. Sussy, thank you for the sub. It's appreciated. But I do think Horizon earned their stripes. These guys fight like fucking mad lads, and I think they deserve an A-tier placing. I would like to see Horizon beat 15K or heaters next. I think that's next up on the menu. But I think Horizon is super slept on. These guys are pretty fucking good, and I think they're able to provide a lot of competition against some of the best companies on Marama. So I think, again, if you guys are sleeping on Horizon, you're sleeping. These guys are really good out here, and look, a lot of their wars are banging. So you'd love to see it, guys, in my personal opinion. Let's go and catch Eye for an Eye. Eye for an Eye. Now, guys, look, Eye for an Eye has had a rough month, man. Look, they could have been in the gutter. They could have been in the graveyard. Look, it looks like they're still fighting, though. I'm pretty sure they're still out here getting active, trying to do God's work. They're trying to hold it down. They're doing what they can. But I do think Eye for an Eye, respectfully, is probably a D-tier company in all respect. It is what it is. Eye for an Eye has had very big struggles as of late. Can you check your door for a package? Yeah, do I need to? All right, guys, bottom it. Yeah, I think look, honestly, I think Ivor and I, respectfully, that's kind of where they belong. Yo, do I need to collapse? Hold up. Well, 1 second, guys, 2 seconds. Oh my God, you guys are too good to me. You guys, Collapse, I love you. Hey, you ordered me a sub sandwich to make sure I stay sober up in this bitch. Yo, hey, thank you. Thank you. Look, yo, let's go. Yo, hey, thanks, man. Collapse, love you, dude. Yo, yeah, look, I'm faded as fuck tonight. Yo, also up top. Yo, hold up. You know what? Hold up here, guys. Look, I do want to say, look, we're going to take a shot. Look, we're going to take a shot here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully, look, hopefully you guys are having a good time. Nothing but love coming out from your boy, dude. Look, I know we're doing the tier list. It can be a little spicy sometimes, but hopefully you guys are having a good time out there. Let's go, boys. Shout out to y'all. Thank you guys for the love. We got a fun night ahead of us. We got a 3-war cast coming in after this. Love you guys. Let's take a shot. Let's get it. Whew. Damn. Damn. Tito's is hitting tonight, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and jump. Thank you again, Collapse. Love you guys. Thank you, thank you. Who you casting? Exclamation mark wars, man. Exclamation mark wars. Is this a sad list? What do you mean? I think it's pretty fucking banging. I think I'm pretty on par so far. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think it's a good look. Oh wait, Onion Gang's dead and so is Lost Reapers. R.I.P. Let's go ahead and get. Let's do aggression. Yo, let's do aggression here. I think aggression, yeah, sad kids of graveyards. Yeah, Rug, I was gonna say, I actually think, I think respectfully, this is a pretty solid list so far. I think, honestly, I think I'm doing pretty fucking good, in my opinion, but, the amount of companies dead, I got you. All right, aggression, guys, is a Marauder company over here on Almarama. Kind of looked at his egoed B team. I think aggression has had rough looks. We saw 15K kind of convincingly beat them, which is not really what you want to see coming in for aggression. But if you're kind of looking at them as if you're kind of looking at them as a whole, we need to see a little bit more. I think they could be in the C tier. I don't know if D. I don't know. I don't know if I can respectfully put them at D. I think that they could be like kind of right here. Kind of right here, maybe in the needs to see more. They'd either be middle of pack C or kind of in the needs to see more coming in from aggression, in my opinion. I think it's a needs to see more play to be quite honest with you. I've only shoutcasted one more coming out from the company, and we just need to see a little bit more coming out from the squad. I think that's fair. Yeah. Who have they beat? If I'm not mistaken, did they beat minus 15K B team once? Well, let's talk about that. Minus 15K B team. So minus 15K is B team is a Covenant company coming in over here from Marama. Now these guys did end up having a very solid look. They beat aggression pretty convincingly. We never beat him. Okay, my bad, Ace. So was it Moonlight then? Or who did you guys beat? Because I know aggression beat somebody, right? It was Moonlight? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. My bad. Yeah, I knew it was a Covenant company. I forget which one it was. Yeah, Moonlight's, how it goes. But yeah, I think minus 15K still looks pretty good, though. The B team for minus 15K is still holding down, in my personal opinion. I do think that, they've kind of had ups and downs. Rug, I got you. I'd say Blokes top B or maybe even A minus, then Adeptus below 15K. You think so? You think so? I know. We'll talk about that, Rug. We'll answer that after, because I know that's been kind of the controversial take here. I can look at it after once we get it set up. I think minus 15K is probably a B team company. When we're talking about minus 15K, I think kind of back of B is a good spot for them. They beat aggression with actually quick fashion. That's something to point out too. It was very quick coming in here from minus 15K. So you'd love to see it. I think they look good. But when it comes to fighting some of that upper echelon competition, I don't know what more they can do. I think B is just fine for them though, in my opinion. I think that's kind of okay. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of fair. Now let's do Jover. Is that a hot take, Ultra? Is it, man? I don't know. Maybe it is. I think back of B is okay for minus 15K B team. I mean, they could be top of C. They could be top of C, but I think back of B is okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Now, guys, let's do Jover. Let's do Jover. Jover is a Marauder company coming in over here. These guys have been on Valhalla, kind of popping off, quite honestly. They did just beat Technical not too long ago, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and Jover has been doing big things since they made their way over here. Yeah, did they Duke? Am I really? I couldn't finish triple deck on Val. I don't know. Jover is looking pretty good now. Valhalla is going to be I think Valhalla is going to be some of the spiciest kind of takes here, because Valhalla has been seeing that competition. We've been seeing more people kind of make their way over to Valhalla. I think Jover, to be honest with you, and look again, controversial or not, I I think Jover's an A-tier company. I don't know. I think it could be back of the A-tier company. I think that they look. I don't know. I think they look pretty good. I mean, I think they look solid. I think Jover is pretty damn good. I don't know. I think back of A is a pretty fair spot for Jover. I mean, look, when you're talking about Valhalla as a whole, I think that they are kind of arguably the best company on Valhalla. Technical, bring it up. And let's talk about Technical while we're at it, guys. Let's talk about Technical. Dropping the Cosmic and Technical here. Technical going to be making the way over here in Valhalla, and they're holding it down. They have a lot of territories. These guys have been looking really good, These guys have been looking good, but they did lose to Jover not too long ago. And I do think Jover and Technical are pretty almost even when it comes to strength. I want to see Technical fight Jover, to be honest. I want to see Technical on the offense and fight Jover. But I do think it's respectfully kind of putting him at the back of A as well. You could say top of B for Technical, but I think both these companies kind of holding it down around this area is kind of respectful. I think that's okay. I think both of them can kind of coexist in this, kind of in this area. I think Jover still is a little bit better in my personal opinion, but that's obviously my opinion, right? That's what this is my opinion. It's how it goes. Yeah, exactly, Rug. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Look, again, I'm not crazy, Rug. See, look, people think I'm crazy out of my tier list sometimes, but I'm like, I swear to God, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I feel like Jover and Technical are hella close. Like, these guys are fucking neck and neck on Valhalla, if you ask me. I absolutely look forward to these wars. Like, these guys are so much fun to catch. Because, dude, these guys are so close when it comes to strength. But let's go ahead and catch Dropouts. Now, Dropouts has been having an insane week. We'll talk about COS a little bit. Castle of Steel a little bit in here. Now, guys, Dropouts coming in. Now, look, they've had an insane month. And, guys, look, man.
Meow, meow, meow.
Look, man.
Woof, woof, woof. Purr, purr, purr. Meow, 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 meow.
Look, man. Is Dropouts better? Look, I think respectfully, I think Dropouts is going to be a bit better or in the S tier, right? They beat Supple a couple times this month, respectfully, but where do they slot in the S tier? Do we still, Dropouts is absolutely S tier, guys. It's a matter of where they slot in the S tier. Are they above Supple for the month? Are they above Supple for the month here, guys? I mean, look, I almost think so, guys. I hate. I mean, look, look. I'm not Supple Shadow Gov, but like, part of me thinks for this month, if we're talking about this month as a whole, Dropouts beat Supple and ended up holding it down against Supple. It's almost hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say which one is going to be holding out that top spot. I mean, it really is. Like, these guys are both respectfully kind of popping off here, but I don't know, guys. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do, man? I feel like for this month, I feel like it's better than Supple. But I feel like Supple, because Supple ended up fighting back and having an insanely good defense against Dropouts. They were held on a single point forever. Dropouts just got held, but it's like, it's so fucking hard. Yeah, I know, Rug. It's so fucking hard. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, dude. Because it's like, Dropouts would have been above Supple if they didn't get single point. In my opinion, Dropouts would have been above Supple if they didn't get single point held by Supple. But if you ask me, I think that as a month, if I'm looking at it objectively, who did bigger things this month? Who did bigger things in the month that we're talking about? I think Dropouts owns the top. Because they did bigger things this month. I think Dropouts respectfully deserves this slot. You know, like, yes, they did get single point hold, and it does look like Supple's going to be fighting back, but I think Dropouts owns the spot here, in my opinion. Like, I think that they did really good. So, yeah. I think that they looked really good this month, and I want to give them the respect that they deserve. They really fought, and they had some of the biggest upsets that I think people weren't really expecting, in my opinion. Let's go. Oh, wait, Global Gym's dead. Bye-bye. Bark for Heels. Bark for Heels is a syndicate company over here on on Valhalla. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. On Valhalla. I do think Bark for Heels does look pretty damn good, but they have had some rough wars. They've had a little shaky wars. I think Bark for Heels, and now, again, this is my opinion, but I think they slot right behind Yacht Club. Now, so correct me. Look, I feel like Bark for Heels is right there. I feel like Yacht Club a little bit better, but Bark for Heels is right behind them. Again, look, you guys could disagree. I personally think that I think it's not too bad. I think it's not too bad here. I think that's a good spot for the squad. They've had some wins. They've had a couple losses, but I still think Bark has a solid roster at the end of the day. And them choosing to go Valhalla is pretty cool. I don't know. In my personal opinion, I think so. Now let's do Scales of Seraphim. Now we've caught Scales of Seraphim a few times. They are trying to get active out here. But look, to be honest, look, we haven't caught as much of Scales as we could have. I do think that Scales probably deserves to be in that D tier. Look, respectfully, nothing but respect for the Scales squad, but I think the D tier is probably where they belong at the moment. We need to see a little bit more coming in. And look, we're going to be catching Scales tonight. We're gonna be catching Scales tonight. Again, I could put Scales in the needs to see more, to be quite honest with you. I could put them there. I haven't seen a ton of Scales, so it's almost like, do I put them there or not? Do I put them in D at the moment? Do we see their anime arc? We could see, but at the moment, I'll put them in the D squad. I think they're probably above needs improvement, to be quite honest with you, but yeah. Let's go ahead and catch Downfall. Downfall is a Marauder company over here on Almarama. They had a rough time. They lost a couple territories. They had a bit of a rough attack. They've been struggling a little bit, man, since they came their way here over Orofina. They've been having a hard time. I do think Downfall probably belongs in the D tier. Nothing but respect for the squad. But I do think they probably belong in the D tier. Unfortunately, they're not as strong. They're not as strong as we would like to see. Downfall has had a history. But it is what it is. It's how it goes. Look, you just got to own these. Now, guys, let's talk a little bit about Ordo Renatus. Ordo Renatus, guys, Ordo has been having a bit of a shaky month. These guys coming in from Amara. Don't forget, these guys are a Covenant company on Lilith at the moment, but they came in over here from Amara, and they've been struggling, though. They have lost a lot of their territories, and we did see Diagonal kind of taking it to them pretty decently. It's kind of rough. I think Ordo Renatus, or Ordo only lost one war. You think? I could have sworn they lost multiple, unless I'm mistaken. I could be mistaken. I could have swore they lost a couple wars. Yeah. But either way, Ordo, I still think in general they have. Yeah, I thought they lost 2. 1 point held horizontal last night. Really, 2. I could have swore Ordo lost 2 wars. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But I could have swore to God. Well, horizontal beat them like that. Yeah, I could have swore to God they lost 2 wars. Yeah, I mean, I could have sworn everything. I sworn my mama they lost 2 wars. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't know. I thought they lost at least 2 or 3 wars, but I still think in respect after catching Diagonal versus them, I mean, Diagonal looked pretty good. I think Ordo Renatus is not doing bad, but I still think they probably rep that C side. I think they're probably above top G a little bit. I think I would put Ordo above top G. And then 1 point held horizontal last night. Really happy. I mean, I wasn't here last night, so maybe this could, you're right with 2. Ordo. Again, this is over the month, though. So I think Ordo as a month kind of had a bit of a shaky month, right? Like, they're kind of stabilizing. They could go up, they could go down, but I think kind of middle of the pack of C right now is not too bad, right? Unless, I mean, they could be up higher, but I mean, I don't know. I think this is pretty fair at the moment, but I don't know. I think that's okay. Let's do Oracle of Flame real fast. Now, guys, I hate to sound like a hater. Again, nothing but respect to the squad out here, but Oracle of Flame is definitely D tier. Morata company, Almarama. Look, they had a triple deck. They had a chance to kind of show their stripes, and unfortunately, it just was not. What you want to see coming out from the squad. They got held out by Ego on a triple deck. Yeah, rough to see. Let's go ahead and talk about Horizontal. Now, guys, Horizontal is a syndicate. Horizontal is a syndicate company coming in here from Lilith. Now, guys, in my personal opinion, now this is where my brain thinks, and again, I could be wrong, but this is what my brain thinks. Excuse me. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I feel like Horizontal and Diagonal are battling right now for who's the better syndicate company. I mean, what do you guys think about that assessment? I feel like both these guys are kind of battling. I feel like Horizontal, when it comes to the roster and people in there, you could say Horizontal is definitely better than Diagonal, but I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Diagonal's had the better month in a way, but I feel like Horizontal still might have the better roster. It's a weird dynamic with these guys. Like, it really is. I feel like Horizontal might have the better roster, but Diagonal's had the better month in a way. But both these guys are pretty similar. They're fighting Vert out there, and they're trying to do what they can when it comes to fighting the Vert boys. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard, man. Fonzie, yeah. Well, okay, Fonzie. Yeah, so Vertical was the first company, and then people ended up, saying Horizontal and Diagonal and stuff. It's a meme. It's honestly a rolling meme at this point. I think Horizontal, when it comes, when it comes to the month, I think Diagonal probably had a better month, right? Like, okay, look, again, it could be back and forth, but I think Diagonal probably had a better month as a whole. Right, guys, or am I tripping? I feel like Diagonal probably had a better month, but I feel like Horizontal might still have the better roster, but when it comes to the month here, I feel like they could hold it down. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with this at the moment. We'll revisit it. We'll see, though. Let's go. Let's talk about Strict. Is Strict still active, or are they dead, guys? Are they in the graveyard, or is Strict still active, guys? What are you thinking? Is Strict still getting active out there? Or I don't know, because we saw them fight Handsome Blokes. We saw them kind of have a couple wars in COS, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy coming in. I don't know. They could be in the graveyard for all I know. I don't know. Because, again, I don't know if Strict plans on getting more active out there. Really, Tucker? Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if we put them in the graveyard or not, because I don't know if they keep planning on warring. Where are the Cox? Dude, look, Fonzie. I don't have them on the list, man. I could have put them on. But, you know, I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put Strict in the graveyard for now. I don't know if they're getting active. That guy's Appaban. Appaban. Now, Appaban has been having some very interesting wars. I think in Valhalla, these guys look pretty good. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they're kind of they're a Morata company in Valhalla. They're a Morata company here in Valhalla. Yo, Zach, come on, man. They're a Morata company here in Valhalla. I think they look pretty decent. But they have had a rough month. They lost a lot of their territory. I don't think they own anything on Valhalla at the moment. But I still think they have a strong roster. They've had some strong looks. I think that they're probably here around this C tier area. If I'm not mistaken, probably here around this C tier area. In my opinion. Here. Merc guards too. Shame. Oh, look, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think this is pretty decent. I don't know. Yo, what's up, Zaxxis? I feel like this... guys, what do you think about the tier list? I mean, look, there's not as many companies as we would like to see. But I do personally feel like... make F tier for the... Come on, Zaxxis. Dio. I think this is pretty fair. Now, I know some people could be saying that they wanted to see Handsome Blokes and Adeptus a little bit lower. But is 15K in Horizon better than Handsome Blokes and Adeptus? What do you guys think? About his basically new stimmies with different leadership. Maybe I see. Appaban's not doing bad, Danny. I mean, seriously, I'm here to see it. Like, I'm here for it. I mean, what do you guys think? I feel like that's the only thing I could really switch up here. Decent at the C tier? Yeah, I think so too, Danny. Honestly, I feel like this might be one of my most on-the-nose tier lists I've made in a while. To be honest with you, I think this is pretty solid. I think this is a pretty good tier list. I think the only conversation you could be having is Adeptus versus Blokes, but I don't know if I see Adeptus and Blokes being worse than 15K or Horizon. With the Supple Dropouts one, reflects the week rather than the month. You think so? I think 15K is above Adeptus. Blokes is I work for 15K. Blokes award versus Adeptus. I got you. You can add Ego to the graveyard. Damn. EU Goat. Yacht Club S+, but yeah, Zach, I got you, bro. Yeah, okay, I see you, dude. Move Blokes to bottom A+. Really, you think so, Cray? I don't know. I think people would be pretty I think Blokes has had a rough month, in my opinion. I think Blokes has definitely had a rough one. They're able to beat each other for a few months, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I feel like Adeptus, I don't know. You think 15K is above Adeptus? I feel like 15K had a rough month, and until this is based on what you know in your opinions. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these are valid. Yeah, Danny, for sure. I love cashing the opinions of some of my homies, though. I think I left Tommy Hot 9 coming in. Look, I don't know. Yeah, guys, I'm actually, look, low-key, I'm actually pretty happy with this tier list, guys. I actually think this is a very good tier list. If you want to get an idea on where, what NA companies look like here, I think this is pretty fair. I actually do think that this is a pretty fair tier list. There are a couple spots where you could be changing it, but I do want to say, look, man, if you guys are, again, catching this on YouTube, catching it, consider hitting that like, consider hitting that sub, and also, if you guys are on Twitch right now, consider hitting that follow. And look, man, consider hitting that sub as well. I'm a full-time streamer trying to keep it going. Hopefully you guys are having... I'm sorry.